welcome to Critapocalypse, episode 14. We've made it. We're now 4 past double digits, which is, an achievement in its own. We're almost at 15.
They said we wouldn't get this far.
They said that we would die of AIDS and or cancer before we get to this point, and we've only got one of those so far. Yeah, so we've got this in check, I think.
Sure, why not?
Boom. My name's Matt. I'm here with Ant. We bi-weekly record a podcast in which we talk about things we've
buy
done,
a lot of things, man.
Seen, read, or watched. Apparently we butt-fuck a lot as well, according to Ant now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asleep for most of that. But, my fault for sleeping in the same bed. Anyway, this week, Ant is going to start us off. Ant, take it... Oh, before you start us off...
Oh, what now?
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
Don't worry, I can edit around this.
No, don't edit around it. Leave it in.
Okay.
Leave it in. It's part of the process. All right, you go. Number one.
I'm gonna review.
Yeah.
The only video game I've been playing the last couple of weeks is Lego Batman 3.
What? The only thing you can call technically a video game?
Well, other than WB Supercard.
Or Hateful Boyfriend.
Hatterful Boyfriend.
There you go.
I don't have Hatterful Boyfriend. I wish I did.
I do. Do you want a copy? I got it for Humble Bundle.
Game. It's a lovely game. But Lego Batman 3, I got that because it was on 75% off on Steam. They did a big old sale on the Lego games and all the download content except for the Batman of the Future DLC. It's not included in the season pass for some reason.
Wait, you mean Batman Beyond?
Yeah, Batman of the Future is what it's officially called now. They never refer to it as Batman Beyond anymore.
Oh.
Apparently, yeah, that was the thing. They had the name was different over here, wasn't it? It was always Batman of the Future.
Whatever happened to System Shock?
System Shock? Or you
know
mean Static Shock?
Static Shock.
He's still around. He used to be called Black Lightning, didn't he? But they don't...
Racist.
They don't want to call him Black Lightning now.
Because he's Caucasian.
Apparently, he might be in friggin' that spin-off Arrow series they're doing.
Oh, really?
Atom, yeah.
What, is he going to be like a fetus?
No, he's going to be in. He's around. He's an adult. He's an adult in the DC universe. He's not a kid.
Yeah, but...
He's only a kid in the cartoon. It wasn't in the future. That drink's weird. Anyway, Lego Batman 3. It was dead cheap, so I thought I'd buy it, and I bought it. I did buy it. I thought it was going to be like a really scaled down Lego game because it was sold for £25 on release on Steam when it first came out, and I was like, oh, is this going to be like more like the old ones where it's just like a level hub and you just walk in and out the door and carry on playing? But it's not, even though it doesn't have like the big old open world city like Lego Marvel Superheroes, which is probably the best Lego game so far. Absolutely superb. It's a brilliant game.
I got it for $5.
$5.
$5.
But this one's got like big old hubs that you go to still, but there's there's not a city. But it's a really big game. There's loads of stuff going on in it. There's a nice Resogun style shoot 'em up game that plays on it.
Which is
probably side view shooting around a circular thing. But
like R-Type.
It's probably the first time they've done a vehicle section in one of the Lego games that hasn't been just absolute balls.
Lego Batman?
No, they all suck. All the Lego vehicle sections suck.
I don't remember.
But it's got a really big silly story going on. Brainiac's trying to shrink the Earth and he's like shrunk a whole bunch of cities. There's a bunch of levels set in miniaturized versions of cities, so they all look like Superman's as tall as like a tree or something, and all the like a full tree instead of being a big ornate Lego structure that's in relation to the size of the characters is just one of those little plastic trees you used to get on the city sets, and the buildings are made out of like 20 blocks, just tiny little buildings. So, yeah, they're really cool levels. There's a whole series of sections where you go around London and all that, and then a bit in Gotham. Which is really cool. But there's loads of characters, like 120 characters if you include the download content. And the download content was dead cheap in the sale, like 53p a pack, but the season pass was like £3, so I just got that. And the download content's quite cool because they've all got their own levels. Most of the packs have, some of them are just character packs. But there's like 6 separate levels. And they're all themed around a certain thing. Like there's Batman's 75th birthday party, which Joker and Harley Quinn are trying to ruin and turn into a Joker party.
75th?
Yeah, because he's been around a long time. Batman.
His anniversary?
Yeah.
Like, not his birthday party. He's not...
Mate, he's not 7th birthday party, yeah.
Have you seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember the one with the vampire? Where he invites the Aqua Teens, he's the guy who owns their house.
Oh, yeah.
And he invites them and he goes, Lordy, I'm 40, because he's 4,040 years old.
This is like, one of the download content levels is based on Arrow.
Oh yeah,
and it's got Stephen Amell doing a narration on it.
Oh, nice!
And it's amazing. It's it's just an island set level, and it's the bit where they blow up all the rockets at the base and attack the base. And there's one bit that goes, "For you continuity freaks out there, sometimes I like to imagine myself back on the island in my Arrow costume." It's like Just brilliant. But that comes with characters to play. So you get Huntress, you get Black Canary, the Sarah Vance one, Diggle, Felicity Smoke.
That's cool.
There's also like a Bizarro World one, which I haven't played yet, a Dark Knight trilogy one, but the level you play is basically the car chase from Dark Knight and then a little bit on the streets where for some reason you're rescuing Joker from trapped underneath a truck that's flipped over. Bit weird. Joker's in the nurse costume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cross-dressing in a Lego game.
It's really strange.
But it's been really good.
It sounds... if I'm not overstepping my boundaries here, obviously the Telltale piece. Is it Telltale? No, it's not. It is Telltale, isn't it?
Traveller's Tales.
Traveller's Tales.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully not upsetting anyone by saying this, but doesn't it seem a little bit now they're like, haha, we've got Marvel. We've made these big, fantastic Marvel game thing that we're doing. Now, let's scale it back a little bit. DC, we're just going to tighten the purse strings on your game a little bit.
Well, Lego Marvel Superheroes felt like a huge game. Like
it was
massive. Like production value on that was crazy.
Yeah.
And this one feels like they have scaled back a bit, but it's not so much. Like there's lots of hubs. Each of the hubs, there's a bat cave you can go to, the Hall of Justice, the Watchtower, and apparently later on there's like each of the planets of the Green Lanterns. Hubs. Takes a while before you can start buying new characters, which is a bit odd. You have to get about halfway through the game before you can buy them. But really good, like, fun adventure thing. One of the download contents is different Batman costumes as one of the download contents, including Zebra Batman. But one of them's the Dark Knight Returns Batman. It's like one of the giant figures.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just hulking around the place. There's loads of Batmans, though. Really good. It's got Batman as NR, the obscure 1930s, like, red and purple suited Batman from another planet, which is in there. Really obscure Batman. There's a Rainbow Batman as well, who's just got multicoloured costume on.
Is he voiced by Ian McKellen? Please tell me he's voiced by Ian McKellen.
It would be amazing if he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit weird it doesn't include the Batman of the Future costume.
Pass any laws prohibiting gay marriage.
He doesn't. Yeah,
I like Ian McKellen. I don't care. I don't care if he's gay. I don't care if anyone's gay. Never cared.
You care about if the people you bum are gay.
I don't bum anyone. Except for my girlfriend, and she doesn't say yes or no to it. Really, she's quite passive about the whole thing.
Why did you do little finger quotation marks when you said girlfriend?
I guess people consider relationships with hands differently to how I consider relationships with hands. Yeah. Fuck you, Ant.
You see, they can't tell because it's
I know. It's a podcast. We're
really
playing
clever.
games.
You see,
We're playing silly games. Silly games with the podcast people.
But Lego Batman 3 is really good. I'm liking it. I haven't finished it yet. I'm most of the way through it, though. I'm like, when it says you're about 20% through, but really you nearly finished the story, and then you've got 10 years of collecting characters to do.
Fucking shit in the moment.
Yeah.
The next Lego game I'm going to play is possibly Lego Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I want to play that.
Me and my girlfriend already said that we're going to go.
Saying that, Lego Dimensions. Did you see the trailer for Lego Dimensions?
Fuck that. No.
There's a Wizard of Oz level.
Spyro can piss off. And that's all it is. It's the Spyro game.
Yeah, they're catching in on Skyland. Yeah,
cashing in on kids' monies.
There's a Back to the Future level. You can play as Marty McFly.
It's like those bloody amiibos you keep going on about.
The villager.
Alright, I've had enough about amiibos and toys that link to games. They are two different things, right? Keep your imagination away from my stringent plot that doesn't have these fanciful flights of Batman fighting Marty McFly.
There's a Waluigi amiibo.
Ugh, who cares? Wait, there isn't, is there?
Yeah, in the Mario Party 10 set.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're going to want to buy one, aren't you?
No!
Because you want a Waluigi.
No one wants a Waluigi.
Wants a Waluigi. He's the hottest of all the Mario characters.
Tall, spindly, scarecrow-looking motherfucker.
He goes, Waluigi!
Yeah, you're like, Waluigi!
That's all he says. Sometimes he goes, Ouija!
He doesn't ever address anyone, does he? He's not like, Wario! Luigi!
His existence is bizarre.
Mario!
Wario exists as an evil doppelganger of Wario.
Have you noticed that they all... Oh, here's a weird question for you. Okay, right. Have you seen... Alright, sorry. This is going off topic here.
No, we never do that.
No. Have you seen the film of Mice and Men starring Gary Sinise and John Malkovich?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Next time you watch that film, think of them both being part of the same alter ego... Like, the same person. They're alter egos to this one person. And, alright, and instead of considering each murder as a steadily progressing chain of unfortunate events happening to a poor retarded man, think of it instead as the Hulk coming to terms with what he does when he kills people and accidentally murders people. So it starts off with a mouse, and he accidentally kills a mouse. No, that's not a mouse, that's a person. And later on he's got the rabbit, and he kills the rabbit. That's not a rabbit. That's a family. And you know at the end where he kills the woman? That's not a woman he kills. He kills an entire village of people. It is just the Hulk done on a slowly progressing scale to try and... It's just a man, it's Bruce Banner trying to come to terms with all these horrible murders he's committed. And his alter ego is always like, oh no, that's the other me. Like, it's just a mouse in the water. It's just a mouse compared to the grand scheme of things. And I'm going to help people. Oh, okay, so I've killed a family. But I'm going to help people. There's this dream I have about owning a farm full of these animals. And he's thinking about, like, the world as his farm. Yeah. And when he says he wants to farm all these animals, he wants to keep all these people safe. But every time he's trying to keep them safe, he just ends up killing someone. He's working towards this dream. Every time he stumbles and someone dies. And it's all really weird.
I don't think Marvel would go that way.
No, well, Marvel wouldn't, but Ultimate Marvel?
Maybe.
They'll go that way.
Do you remember the Banner comic?
What?
The Banner comic, when they rebooted Hulk and it was just called Banner.
No.
It wasn't very good.
How many Hulks have there been now? Because there's Grey Hulk, there's Green Hulk, there's Red Hulk.
Gay Pride Hulk.
There's Gay Pride Hulk?
Probably. Incredible Hulk.
Rainbows.
Hogan.
Yeah. And then there was that brief time when the Hulk and the Incredible Hulk were split.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was Intelligent Hulk.
That's
there's
Joe
the combination
Fixit.
Combination there. Oh, yeah. Joe Fixit. Yeah, he was the gangster.
Yeah.
He was Grey Hulk.
It's all silly.
Yeah. How stupid. But why would you need to... You're essentially writing a story about a living wrecking ball. Why would you need to be like, oh, he's intelligent sometimes? No, he fucking isn't. Why would you want him to be? Why would you want anything with that amount of power to have any iota of focus or intelligence? You just want it to be a stupid guided missile and hope that it doesn't go off target. That's what you want.
Anyway,
yeah, so Lego Batman, any sort of review?
It's good.
Good?
Buy it.
How much would you say it's worth?
Money.
Limit of money?
Well, probably depends what you value a Lego Batman game as. I mean, everyone has
if you were to purchase it again
it?
and there was no sale, but you immediately wanted it, how much would you spend at max?
I don't know, 15, 20 quid?
I was going to say 15, 20 pounds as well. Yeah, that's the kind of podcast.
That's the kind of price I think Lego games should be, really, because they are...
Except for Lego Jurassic Park.
They are kind of throwaway distraction games. I mean,
Lego
for kids...
Lego Marvel was a different thing altogether. There was a story and there was like... there was a lot going on.
But they're the sort of games you play when you're done playing other games.
Yeah. Okay, alright. Well,
your first review, you fucker.
It's my first review. How long are we into this? Oh, we're not too bad. Yeah. My first review this week is for iZombie. I've watched the first 4 episodes of this. I think it's a 13 episode first season. It's based on the DC Comics, Vertigo publisher or DC publisher?
Vertigo one,
Vertigo.
It's not real DC, but
it's like the side projects. But yeah, iZombie is the story of Liv, who is at a boat party one day and she gets bitten by something, wakes up on the beach and she has gained the zombie disease but has a level of coherence. So she uses her medical knowledge. She was previously a med student before the fateful night of the ship, to go and get a job in a morgue, working in a police station. She uses a convenient position to gain brains, to keep herself in a coherent manner, so that she doesn't go full zombie, which is seen in the first episode as this raging madness. It's basically Veronica Mars with death.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. One really nice bit of casting is the evil zombie person. I believe it's the same guy from Revenant, which is the zombie film.
Oh, yeah. Well, the zombie...
Yeah, where the guy comes back from Vietnam. It turns out that he's not dead. He's actually a zombie, wakes up, and he uses his newfound zombie powers to go and kill...
That should have been the sequel to Dead Heat.
Should have been the sequel to Dead Heat. It was the sequel to Dead Heat. It was called Dead Heat 2, Revenant.
Yeah.
I might have had a stroke there because of that coffee. That was fucking atrocious.
You say coffee?
Monster. Espresso Midnight.
Yeah, espresso.
Yeah, espresso. I did say espresso, not espresso. But yeah, no, iZombie is good. It's great. It's one thing that really annoys me is the first episode's called Pilot. It's clearly not a pilot fucking episode. If anyone knows about TV, if anyone knows about TV or realise that a pilot episode is like a very, very low budget version of what you see on screen, it's essentially the concept only. So you'll have some scripting, you'll have some very low key effects, and you'll have a very small cast, and it'll be maybe half an hour long, even for hour long serial dramas and things like that. All it is a proof of concept so that someone can say, I can see this being the series you're telling me about and not this dinky piece of shit you've just shown me. So I understand what you're trying to do. Every time a TV series calls something pilot, it condescends. It feels like a weak cop-out.
It's very rare you actually see the original pilot. Sometimes you see like cut versions of them.
Almost never. And then there are series that are
Didn't the X-Files, the first episode of the X-Files was a combination thing, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Because I think if I remember right, I think it was X-Files. For the pilot episode had scenes that were shot for the pilot and new stuff they shot for the show, and you could tell the difference.
No, I don't remember.
It was either X-Files or something else, but yeah.
But famously, Star Trek. Star Trek had an entirely different cast to begin with, except for Zulu and Scotty, and then they.
No, it's just Spock's the only one who's in the original.
Is Spock
pilot.
the only one who's in the original? Okay, sorry, ignore that.
Yeah.
But then, what was nice about that is, if a show has enough campiness and enough self-effigy, it can jump on that. And obviously, Star Trek, they had the captain from the original mission come back, and he was in the machine. Yeah. And
they reused the footage from the pilot as well, in the Marjorie Part 1 and 2.
And also, Star Trek, the film, the newer film, that had a nice little nod to that as well, because the captain, who was the original captain of the Starfleet, the Starship Enterprise, he came back and he had the bug pit in his spine, and he was in a wheelchair by the end of it. I was like, that's a nice
Star Trek: The Motion Picture was originally written as a pilot for Star Trek Phase 2.
Oh, really?
TV series, yeah. And then when they were like, well, why don't we just make a film because Star Wars is a thing now?
Yeah.
They let that director shoot a 13-minute shot of them flying around the Enterprise.
Boom.
And called it a film.
Nice.
I like that film.
But anyway, iZombie, it's interesting. If you really like Veronica Mars, and there are a lot of people that do like Veronica Mars.
Yeah, they did a Kickstarter stuff. Yeah, someone liked it.
If you're really into Veronica Mars, then it's Veronica Mars, a little bit darker, a little bit more depth to it, and some gore. And,
I was more into Susan Thomas FBI. You know, the one with the deaf FBI agent.
Actual tumbleweeds just rolling past us in mass.
Haven't you watched that?
Because of all of this silence.
It's funny because I could never tell if the actress was actually deaf or not.
What?
Because the voice.
It sounds like these are mad ramblings.
She say because whenever she talks, she did the whole deaf person voice.
I can't hear you. That's all. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and this is top of this show, and every now and again there'd be
offensive.
There'd be jokes at her expense, like being deaf.
Do you think they just say "kick me" instead of actually just kick her? Fucking do her in.
Yeah, but they'll be like she plays piano, and everyone's like, "You can play piano." Deaf person.
It's like a dog shaking a person's hand.
She's like, and then he murdered him, and I'm like, I'm hungry. I always can't. Every time I watch it, I was like, "Is this? Like, are they aware?"
That is offensive.
Yeah,
that's offensive. Anyway, iZombie, I'm going to give it a solid Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, he's not always about, but when he is, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a good time. And that's how I feel with this. It caters to a lot of audiences, and everyone should find something they're able to keep hold of and enjoy during the whole of the run. The first season is going to end, obviously, this arc. It's going to be interesting to see how they end that, because I don't see them having a budget for a full-scale zombie assault. But there is a nice villain building in the background. Not to spoil anything, but the person who bit her, he comes back in the second episode, and he's found coherence as well, so he's probably bitten someone and eaten some of their brains to gain that coherence. And he has started biting rich people as like an immortality thing, and then giving them brains from people he murders, and getting them to give him money monthly, like a sort of Netflix for brains.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, and that's building. And also, like, I keep thinking that they're going to do it so that guy has to die, and when he dies, you leave this void where these people aren't getting the brains, and then they become proper zombies and go mad and start biting people, and it just spreads. Like, I can see this becoming Walking Dead in like 4 episodes if they do it right, but they're not going to do that. But yeah, no, still, Keanu Reeves is a good score for this, I think. Yeah, I recommend it.
He's not really a score, he's a person. Stop devaluing him.
I'm not devaluing him, that's valuing him highly.
He suffers from depression. It's kind of mean.
I actually love Keanu Reeves, and his backstory is incredibly sad, but he handles it like a champ. I mean, he is always a class act when you see him.
I love that picture of him just sat on a bench. Like
sad Keanu. Do you not know what he does for his birthday?
He's just chilling out.
He just buys a cake on his birthday and sits down at a bench, and if someone comes up to him and says, "Oh, you're Keanu Reeves," he goes, "Yeah, I'm Keanu Reeves. It's my birthday. Do you want some cake?" Gives people cake.
Nice.
How crazy is that? He's a really nice guy, and yeah, as I said, it's always good to see him, but it's not as often as you like. So it's a pretty high regard. I'd say that if I was to put a number to it, that'd be at least 1 billion.
Nice. Right, shall I do a next review?
Go for it.
I'm going to do Wrestlemania play button, because they don't have numbers anymore. Vince McMahon decided that having numbers on WrestleMania made it sound old.
I recently started reading about WrestleMania. Can I ask a question before we get into this one?
Why?
Alright, so I started reading about WrestleMania, and Vince McMahon is the big old guy.
Yeah.
The one who's like used to be a bodybuilder or something.
Well, he likes muscles and young men with muscles. He really likes young men with muscles.
Is it true that he exploited his daughter in a lot of the storylines and made out like that she was raped and shit? The storylines.
Apparently, there's a rumour that he wanted to do an incest storyline.
What?
Yeah.
That's madness.
There's nothing Vince wants. She apparently she nixed that. There was a storyline where they had a fight. They had a wrestling match years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite brutal actually.
If someone did that to me, they went, all right, so your dad is trying to put you in this rape storyline. We're going to put you in a fight together. Not going to tell him it's real though, so just go at it, yeah? I'd be like, how many crowbars can I fit on my clunge?
She could probably
Can I
fit
get
a lot.
Billy Club up there. Just like pull out and start fucking hammering away. Don't stop until he sounds like that detective woman you were talking about. Just make sure that he can't move or feed himself properly anymore. I would just end him. What a sicko. Anyway, get back to your review. Sorry.
Vince just likes shock. But yeah,
He's just a fucking weird.
WrestleMania ended up a lot better than it could have. Because the build for it was terrible. Absolutely awful. The whole Roman Reigns winning Royal Rumble, fans revolting against that, because it's not like I don't think he could be a main eventer. He's just like, God, he looks so green. Like, he hasn't got it yet. Like, he's got the look, and he's really good at hitting his spots, but he can't wrestle for shit.
You got the look. No, the touch.
Just the touch. Don't get that wrong. That's important.
That's
That's sacred.
Yeah, it's from Transformers, isn't it?
Yes.
The movie. Both Transformers.
Yeah. It's only in the 1986 film.
Yeah, it's in the new one as well.
He re-recorded it he wanted to get it in the newer films, but Michael Bay wouldn't have it. He wanted Linkin
it's
Park
on the
song
radio
instead.
at one point.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
on
don't
one
think
of them.
so. Nah,
Yeah, it is, definitely.
it's in that film with Mark Wahlberg, Boogie Nights.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's singing
where
it.
he's got his cock hanging out.
Yeah, he's singing it. But yeah, the main event. Let's just skip straight to the end.
All right, skip to the end.
They booked that main event the best way they possibly could. Basically,
With cheese?
No.
No.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Hardcore fans love Brock Lesnar. Loads of the casual fans are cheering for Roman Reigns, but like even them, they're like, why is he in the main event?
Yeah.
We want Daniel Bryan here, or Dina, or anyone. The match was 15 minutes of Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of Roman Reigns, like just throwing him and smacking him into things and like
They're a
suplexing
different
like
weight
crazy.
class, right?
Pretty much. Well, Roman Reigns is about 260 something pounds. Brock Lesnar's currently about 285, 295.
No, that must be.
There's no real weight classes in wrestling, but Lesnar is a
'cause
beast.
It's not real, is it? So.
But he basically spent 15 minutes suplexing him. Like at one point, he throws him down, and Brock Lesnar's like, "Suplex City, bitch!" and that started a chant. And it's good booking because the fans are now, all the casual fans are like booing Brock Lesnar because he's meant to be the bad guy. People are enjoying the shit out of the match because it was violent as fuck.
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns gets a bit of offense back in. He starts building back up, and it makes it look like he's going to win, and it's really getting quite big. And then him and Brock Lesnar like lay each other out, and they're just like out of it. And then the perfect way to end it, which I called like
Daniel Bryan.
earlier in the match. No, Seth Rollins, who has the Money in the Bank contract, which lets him cash in for a title match at any time he wants, comes down to the ring and turns the match into a triple threat match, stomps the shit out of everyone, and wins the title, and then runs off.
Wait, Seth Rollins isn't the one who's joining UFC?
No, CM Punk went to
CM Punk.
Yeah, he's gone to UFC.
I love CM Punk.
They're very similar wrestlers, those two.
They look very similar.
Yeah,
It's
Seth
where I'm
Rollins has
getting
got that
confused.
blonde bit in his hair though that he needs to.
Oh, right, that's why, because the card on WWE Supercard is from the left,
Yeah,
so you can't see any blonde bit.
but yeah, so we got a new WWE champion
Way!
to take the title off of Brock Lesnar,
Finally.
who's like, you know,
The king
Barely
is
ever
dead! Long live the king!
but yeah, that was like a 20-minute long, really fast-paced, violent as fuck main event. I like it when Brock Lesnar's just destroying people. I like watching that.
I like it when he fights people for real in the UFC.
You should watch his match with John Cena a couple of years ago. Like 5 seconds into the match, he hits John Cena with a forearm, and Cena's eye bursts open, like blood just pissing all down his face.
Did they have
Yeah.
to take John Cena off on a stretcher like in football? When
No,
someone
no.
someone falls over.
No, they just carry on. That was back in the times when they were meant to stop the matches and heal and put the glue on the wound to stop the bleeding.
Oh, yeah.
And Cena was just like, fuck off, like during the match, and he just carried on with blood pissing out his head. The rest of the event, though, Sting had his first ever match in WWE against
really?
Triple H for whatever reason.
Sting has been around for a long time.
Yep, never stepped foot in WWE. Well, he stepped foot in WWE ring in
Sting
the build up to
reminds
this,
me
but
a lot of The Undertaker, though.
yeah, that's the thing. I wanted Sting versus Undertaker. That's, to me, that's the big match that never ever happened.
Do you remember the David Arquette film Ready to Rumble?
No one reference. We never speak of that film.
We've talked about it before on the show, haven't we? On the show.
We don't talk about David Arquette's World Championship
Yeah,
title
because
run.
he won WrestleMania, didn't
Yes,
he?
no, not WrestleMania. No, it was WCW.
Oh, WCW.
He won the triple. The
cage
fucking
match.
stupid. In the film, it's a cage match.
Yeah.
In real life, there was a tag team match between Eric Bischoff and Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond Dallas Page is the world champion at the time. And it was...
Diamond Dallas Page looks like a show version.
I think it was Diamond Dallas Page. But it was like a tag match. And basically, they decided that the world championship would be on the line in a tag team match. Whoever got the pinfall would win, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And David Arquette won it by pinning Eric Bischoff. And then he had a title reign. It was...
He came back to defend it as well.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid. It was the worst thing that ever happened. But yeah. It's literally like the worst.
That's amazing.
Thing.
I like that film.
It was terrible.
No, it's not that bad. Oliver Platt's in it.
No Holds Barred, man.
What?
No Holds Barred. That's the best wrestling film ever.
Which one's No Holds Barred?
It's one with Hulk Hogan and Zeus.
Oh yeah, no, that film's awful. That film is way worse than
had an octagon ring long before UFC had one.
Yeah, but it was no, that's not true. Pride's been around for years.
Pride has a wrestling ring. Pride has a four-sided ring.
No, there's other UFC.
And this was like 1986 or something.
Yeah, Ultimate Fighting Champions. Not been around for that long, but MMA in general has been fought in cages a long time. Yeah. It was in X-Men, for God's sake.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, X-Men. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, that's not like that long. That's 1999.
2000.
99. Yeah, but Sting versus Triple H was booked like a WCW match. Like,
Triple H is still in there.
Yeah, occasionally.
Doesn't he wear suits now?
Yeah, because he's the boss. He owns the company and shit.
Imagine. Do you know what they should do? Just have wrestlers wear suits.
They did. After Jericho started wearing a suit during his promos, every wrestler got told they had to wear suits everywhere they went.
No, like in the fight.
Not in the fight. That'd be silly. They would fall apart.
No, that's the point. Like he's just like covered in blood and falling apart. So an arm breaks and they've got like the sleeve hanging down, just like. It's impractical, but it would look awesome. Yeah. Is the point, and it's all about the look because no one really gets hurt.
They do.
Sometimes
they get really hurt.
Sometimes
you're hurting constantly when you're a wrestler.
Sometimes
imagine being like thrown around the place and falling on the floor every day.
It's already been proven that you can't take a wrestler and just chuck him straight into like MMA. Like Brock Lesnar was different, and so was John Cena briefly in the UFC?
No. Bobby Lashley did a bit. Batista did.
They
were successful.
No, they were okay
to a certain extent.
Yeah, but the problem is that you can't take someone who is learning how to fight and hurt someone. And then put them against someone who's trained to not hurt someone and make it look theatrical.
Depends who you moved over, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And also, it depends on your weight, because you can so easily take something that's meant to look theatrical and turn it into something.
Yeah, but Lesnar's like, someone. Before he even came to WWE, he was an amateur wrestling champion. Like, he was the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Angle in his prime could have probably done
Kurt Angle is someone that I think could do some damage in the UFC.
Dolph Ziggler, like...
No,
Dolph Ziggler is, like... amateur wrestler, he's on the same sort of level as those. Like, he's really good.
But yeah, it's a whole different, because it's so brutal. And I think it's brutal because every possibility can happen. In wrestling, like, you get hit, there's one punch every couple of seconds. In UFC, you get some matches where it's a punch per, like 4 or 5 punches per second, just like smacking each other in the face.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, completely different things. But yeah, it's just, that's my side of things, because I think I didn't grow up with wrestling, I grew up with boxing.
You should have.
Why? I grew up with boxing, and like what I knew of wrestling were the figures my brother had, like Ultimate Warrior and people like that, which is awesome. Like and also obviously Andre the Giant, and Andy Kaufman. I learned about that stuff when I was young, but I was also more into boxing when I was younger, and that's why I think MMA is now.
The storylines suck in boxing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's people who just love kissing boxing gloves.
Yeah.
So someone comes along wearing boxing gloves and they help them kiss the boxing gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. That's going to be ridiculous.
Is that one of those fights that Floyd's doing because he gets paid a shitload of money?
Yeah,
again?
Essentially. He's retired. He's coming back because apparently he's undefeated, but they don't do the rookie fights and include the rookie fights.
He beat the Big Show.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Wrestlemania 24, something like that, 26.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awful. I remember seeing an advert for that the night I went to go see Velvet Revolver's last gig. That's a bad omen, isn't it?
I've got it. I can bring it up on the WWE network. You can watch it.
That.
I watched it a little while ago, actually.
Let's never watch that. But yeah, that's what I think the difference is.
But no, WrestleMania play button, or whatever it is, this year is 31.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 31. Yeah.
I thought WrestleMania 30 was the N64 game. You remember with green writing?
No, that's WrestleMania 2000.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
which I have somewhere.
Great game.
They don't want numbers on WrestleMania, but they had WrestleMania 2000 a few years ago. That certainly sounded older. But yeah, it was a really good event, much better than it could have been. That you thought on paper it sounded terrible, like it looked a mess. There was a ladder match on there, 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental title. It was nice to see a ladder match on WrestleMania again. I like that. Because there was a thing for a few years where there was always a big ladder match every WrestleMania.
And then Jackie Chan did Who Am I? And no one wanted to be in a ladder match anymore because everyone was trying to be Jackie Chan with a ladder.
I don't think that happened. I think they just decided to make their own pay-per-view because they went through a phase where they decided every pay-per-view had to have a gimmick. So they even had a Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, which is basically the main events are matches with 4 people in them.
Okay.
That was the gimmick. They had a submission pay-per-view where the gimmick was that there were submission matches. So
they would just submit each other.
Yeah, they have tables, ladders and chairs, the pay-per-view. It's all silly, but they're gradually moving away from that again now. Because now they rely on WWE Network subscriptions, so maybe you have to put a good show on, because you start putting crappy shows on,
it used
people
to be
don't
Fox
subscribe.
Network that did it, didn't it?
No, they had pay-per-view, wasn't it? It was always pay-per-view.
No, but Fox used to do the programme.
Well, no, Fox never touched wrestling.
Didn't it?
No, they got their own things.
Oh.
WWE always just so from network to network. They make the programme and other networks go, we want it because money. But yeah, it was a good event. Much better than it could have been.
Yeah.
Decent. My friend went to it. Amy went to it. She went to WrestleMania. And she went to Raw the following night.
Oh, yeah?
And the NXT show on her own. Sat in the WrestleMania crowd, down by the ramp. Didn't get on TV though, because they didn't put the cameras there. But it was alright. There was a musical performance thing. It was fucking
Was it in
terrible.
America?
Yeah.
Oh. The same person you know lives in America?
San Diego. No, she lives here. This is Brighton.
But she went to America to go to WrestleMania.
Yep.
She's single?
No.
No, I was going to say she get on that. Anyway.
No, WrestleMania's good.
Yes. Alright, cool. My next review... Sorry, I'm itching my eye. Give me a minute.
Stop itching your anus.
I need to itch my eye. Then my anus. You can't go anus to eye. That's how you get red eye. Anyway, the Cillian Murphy film. Anyway, Rachel McAdams?
Sure, why not?
2002?
I didn't watch it.
Did you not?
No.
That guy get ganked in the neck with a pen. It was pretty grim. Okay, so my next review isn't Red Eye. It is, in fact, Dark Souls 2, Scholars of the First Sin on the Xbox One.
Hey, it's that next-gen version of Dark Souls I said ages ago was going to come out, and everyone said, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And then it came out.
Yeah. So, a little bit of backstory of me into Dark Souls. I got Dark Souls 1, 5 years ago when I was working at Curry's. It was on offer. I bought it for about £6 and fell in love with it immediately. I then purchased Dark Souls 2 on the day of release from Amazon. Played it a lot. And then found out that Dark Souls 2 was once again coming out on the Xbox One. And like a fucking moron, I ordered it once again and played through almost all of it. A couple of changes with Dark Souls. If you don't know the story, it's a painstakingly difficult game in which you steadily learn information that helps you progress. You don't get hints so much as you get notes on the floor left by other players that have succeeded in the area you're in. When it comes to bosses and enemies, there is always a case of there will be a pattern or there will be a path that you need to learn. Just some small bit of information that helps you progress, and then you go on further and further. It is really difficult, and there is a currency in the game. As you kill things, you get something called souls. The souls build up. If you die, you don't lose a life or you don't return to a checkpoint. Instead, you come back at the nearest bonfire or the last bonfire you visited, and you have to get back to that same point to claim your souls once again. If there are enemies, then the enemies will what's the fucking word? Respawn.
Yeah,
They'll respawn in the areas that they were previously, and you'll have to slog through them again to get back to that point. So you do have to be strategic. It's a really good game. It's really, really good. There's a nice community for it as well on the Xbox One, which there wasn't on the Xbox 360. There's a lot more of the multiplayer stuff, and people leave notes all the time trying to trick you into jumping off of cliffs and shit like that, which is fucking hilarious. Like, because you can place notes anywhere, someone will put a note next to just a cliff that leads nowhere, and it'll say, try jumping for a chest. And you have people jump over the edge, just like, oh, fuck it, I want a chest. Of course I'm going to get the chest in this guy.
You're playing Dark Souls. You shouldn't do anything that suggests death in any way.
It's fucking hilarious. One of the things they've added is a different order that everything goes in, so I'm a little bit lost at this point, because before there was a certain order you went in and then it was all done. Now they've completely changed it, so it progresses more naturally, it feels like. So you're going in a more natural order through the areas. But if you played the last one and you get to a certain point, there's no fucking clue as to where you're meant to go next. So I'm stuck on that. But
Whenever I played Dark Souls, I just carried on following whatever path was nearest to me until I found like
Yeah,
the next enemy.
The difference between Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 is Dark Souls 1 had a world, and it had like paths that could take you back to places you've been before, and there were shortcuts you can open up to the first place. None of that in Dark Souls 2. You don't get those returning checkpoints. You just find bonfires and progress on into the darkness. But yeah, no, it's a really, really good game. It's cheap as well. I got it for £32 on day of release, which isn't bad.
Is that from your dodgy sellers?
No, it's from Amazon.
Amazon.
And yeah, it looks great. Runs at 60 frames per second. It's 1080p. It's not quite Bloodborne, which, in contrast, I have played Bloodborne very briefly this week because I wanted to find out, the differences between the two, see what it was all about. Bloodborne is a phenomenal looking, but incredibly flawed game. Much in the same way that Dark Souls was originally touted as being flawed because of the difficulty level, Bloodborne feels like it hasn't earned the right to be that difficult. There's a lot of moments where you sort of your head butting a wall and you're trying to progress, but I think it's partly to do with the visuals. Having that level of detail means that it's a muddier playing field. It's more difficult to see if an enemy's coming towards you. It's harder to know what are paths and what are just aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's very different. But I think that's inherent in any next-gen game. Like, if you play Deus Ex 2 as opposed to Deus Ex Human Revolution, Deus Ex 2 is all clean-cut alien-style plastic walls. And then you go to Deus Ex Human Revolution, you're like looking on the ground, you can see like a chocolate bar, but it looks like a fucking paving stone because there are paving stones on the ground. It's that sort of thing. But yeah, no, Bloodborne is still excellent though. If you've got the time, you can persevere through it. Much in the same way Dark Souls 1, it's rewarding. Very rewarding. And I can see it being better than Dark Souls 2 if I had access to it for a long period of time. If I could learn more about it,
the combat's a bit more faster paced, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's no shields. So it's a gun and it's a sword. And you dodge to escape attacks. There's no shield. But that's how I play Dark Souls anyway. So, I don't know anyone.
I kept playing like a caster on Dark Souls when I tried playing it.
The first one, the Pyromancer, because you could have a sword and magic. Brilliant way to go. On the newer one, I would recommend choosing something to specify in. So either being a swordsman or a knight if you want to go hand to hand. And then if you want to be...
everyone was moaning about the difficulty, and all I thought was just like a slower paced take on Ninja Gaiden's combat. Because Ninja Gaiden is all parry, block, dodge, attack.
That's true. That is true.
Like, all you got to do is like know how to take on an enemy, and then or make sure you don't get loads of them at the same time. Yeah,
that is true. I mean, but sometimes you can't avoid that, so it's more of a case of knowing. Because the thing about Dark Souls is different from Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden, you were always vulnerable.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, there's this minor glitch that I think is actually part of the play style, that you're slightly invulnerable when you do rolls, but for a timed amount. So if someone brings a sword down and you're within that 0.5 milliseconds, you're invulnerable to that hit. And it's knowing that time period, it's knowing how long you've got, knowing when to move. It's almost, it's like Ninja Gaiden, but it's less like you're an exposed nerve and more like you're teetering on the edge of tearing open a wound. You're just so close to it. And it's great. It's a really, really good game. It's great to master as well. I've played through the original 8 times, played through the sequel 4 playthroughs.
I keep getting put off because I'm playing mostly PC games now, and I don't want to... Like, the PC conversions of Japanese games seem to be very spotty sometimes.
Yeah, the new Dark Souls School of the First Sin, I can see that going down to a tenner in the next 3 or 4 months on PC. And it's DirectX 11 compatible. It's going to be
charging people to upgrade on the PC version.
Are they?
Yeah, to upgrade like £12 or something like that to get the upgrade pack thing or something.
Does that include the DLC, do you think?
Yeah, but it's just...
Okay, because if you've just got the vanilla version...
But if you've already got the DLC on the previous pack...
Then it should just give it to you for free.
Yeah, they're just basically... It's the graphical update, that's all it really is.
What a piss take.
Yeah, and the extra thing, but...
Yeah, if that's the case and you're on the edge of buying that, don't worry, because if you've got the DLC, the only thing you're getting is a new...
There's one new story in there. There's like the new...
There's one new boss. There's the Schooler of the First Sin. And that's not even worth doing. Like, for me, the difference was I could have paid £20 for the season pass, or I could pay £32 to just get the new version on the Xbox One. Yeah. And since that worked out as better for me, because I didn't want to play it on my Xbox 360, I'm moving away from that console. I didn't want to worry about that. But
mine's stopping dust getting on the space directly below it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really get much play, do they?
Xbox. I can't be bothered with it. I've got nothing to play. Even there's 4 games free on Xbox Live Gold this month. And
Which ones?
There's one of the Gears of War Judgment, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and there's 2 others. But I've got Black Flag on PC, and I don't want to play Gears of War Judgment because fuck Gears of War.
Do you not like Gears of War?
You played the first one. I'm done. Like that was.
I played all 3.
It had like maybe 2 ideas in it.
I never played Judgment, so I might download Judgment and drag it out of the fucking the box.
That's the one that's on there now.
Yeah.
There's 2 more later in the month. They're doing 4 games this month, and there's 2 on Xbox One, isn't there?
Yeah, they're both CAG.
No, one of them's
Child of Light.
Yeah, that's quite
Pool
good.
Nation.
Pool Nation. I would like Pool Nation on 360.
I was after Rayman Legends last month. I was hoping they were going to do something big, just something.
Well, they're giving you 2 games.
But anyway, Dark Souls 2. I'd give it a Chevy Chase. If you watch Vacation, you remember it fondly. If you watch Community, you still have a little bit of fondness for it, but eventually that'll wane. I don't see myself playing this as long as I'll play something like, say, right now, Dying Light. Keep repeating stuff on Dying Light because I enjoy that. It's a really fun game. I assume that'll be replaced by Dead Island 2 when that's
been delayed, hasn't it?
Has it?
Yep.
Oh, I've got that on my Amazon list coming when it's released. I mean, like, stuff like I've got Assassin's Creed Unity and Black Flag. They'll be replaced by Arkham Knight soon.
Hell's yeah.
You know, everything's progressing so fast that I don't have time. Like,
I'm just waiting for Arkham Knight.
When I played Dark Souls 1, I was in a shitty paid job. I didn't have much money for fun stuff. So when I bought that, it was a real treat, and I used that treat wisely. I played it over and over again. I got really used to it. Dark Souls 2, I mean, I was in a shitty paid job, but I had more time on my hands because I worked nights, so I played that a lot. And now I'm at a point where I have to choose what I do in my time. I have to be quite specific with it. So when I play video games, I'll maybe play an hour of something, an hour of something else, and then maybe an hour of something else, depending on how much time I've got.
Yeah.
But, Dark Souls 2. Give it a Chevy Chase. You remember it fondly after you look back on it, but maybe if you go back to it after that again, you'll see cracks starting to form. It'll be more of a Fletch Lives than a Fletch. More of a Vegas Vacation than a Vacation or European Vacation.
No one speaks of Fletch Lives.
Fletch Lives, Jesus.
Felch.
But anyway, I'd still recommend it to anyone. If you can pick it up for £30, it's a fucking steal because there's hours of content in there. You at least get 100 hours from your first playthrough. Sweet. Yeah. 100 hours. 100 of your hours for £30 of your money. It doesn't seem like someone's giving you anything. It seems like that's just cost. I don't feel like playing games for that long anymore. No. I often I don't, but when it's something like this, I just get dragged in. Yeah. Because there's not much story, so a lot I mean, I think I've clocked up about 200 and some odd hours on one of my Disgaea games. Disgaea is a whole different creature, isn't it? Yeah. There's a PS4 one coming out, isn't there? Yeah. I need a PS4. Yeah, that's the next step. Credit. I can't get credit. Wonga. I can't get credit thanks to Woking Borough Council taking me to court years ago for unpaid rent the day before I got full-time work. No, the day after I got full-time work. Let's not make this into a bitter podcast. Yeah. I've got to wait until Oh God, we've August. Got a title for the podcast. It's the bitter podcast, isn't it? I've got to wait until August until my county court judgment clears from my account and I can finally get credit again. Jesus. Yeah. So, it's been 6 years. Jamaican me crazy. I always fucking do. Yeah. Right, shall I review another thing? That's a fart. Go for it. That came out on the mic. Really? Look at that. See that little... yeah, it's like a fish. It's like a fish's bones. Yeah. But anyway, right. My next review is, because I'm dead on time with all sorts of things right at the moment, Wreck-It Ralph. Great film. Which I watched the other week because I didn't see it when it came out. It's one of those things I wanted to go see, but you know when Disney release a film and all the marketing on the internet is like for when the American release comes out, and it doesn't come out in the UK for like 3 to 6 months. And you never know when it's actually been released. Because, like with Frozen, when everyone was going nuts for that, and it came out in America long before... I didn't care for Frozen. I haven't seen it yet. Don't watch it. I'll watch it eventually. No, don't do that. It'll be on. No. But Wreck-It Ralph is like the closest to a Pixar quality film that Disney have done in their CGI stuff. It feels like their version of How to Train Your Dragon 2. Yeah, I still haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon 2. The first one's good. I liked it. The second one's a lot better. Yeah. But we'll talk about that another day. Yeah. But it was really nice. It was smart that they didn't go with like using established characters as the main characters because they'll carry like, you know, the baggage of whatever game they're from. Like you can't suddenly have like Bowser wanting to break out and be the star of a game. That would probably make a good Nintendo game. If Nintendo, if they did like a, you know, like Bowser's Big Adventure. Yeah, like, you know, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, those RPGs. Do a Bowser game. Well, they did one where they went inside Bowser, didn't they? Yeah, Bowser's Inside Story. Yeah. It's not the first time they've been inside Bowser. Dun. Alright, Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, it was a really smartly done story. It's a very typical story. It's very much like a hero's journey or redemption arc type story. Like, Fix-It Felix, like, to me, I think he probably should have been the bad guy. Because he's a bit of a dick. Everyone's a bit of a dick to Ralph.
in his game.
Yeah.
Outside the game, everyone seems to treat him fairly. But in his game, it's just like, you can't live in the house. You've got to live in the dump. And all the people there are like, you suck, Ralph. I was like, yeah, but that's his game character.
Yeah.
Like, you're all playing a role in the game. You're actors.
Did you not see that it was like Paddington's
Yeah.
a metaphor for immigration?
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph was a metaphor for racism. Yeah. Did you not notice that?
Yeah, they're just like picking on him just because he's
it's
the
their
bad
programming.
guy. Yeah.
It's all their programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, he's not the bad guy.
It's generational racism done in a kids' film.
I did like,
Sarah Silverman.
all the... Sarah Silverman.
How weird was that in a kids' film? Like, if any kid Googles her name, they're just going to get cunt,
Yeah.
her tits. That's it. That's
Good
all
Sarah
we-
Silverman. But, yeah, if anyone but Jack McBrayer was playing Fix-It Felix, I probably would have hated him.
Yeah, Jack McBraye's the right person to choose for that.
He's got the right level of constantly, like, happy.
Alan Tudyk as Turbo.
Yeah.
That was...
Don't spoil it.
Well, no, because
That's
I
a
didn't
plot
say anything
twist.
about... No, it's not.
'Cause he's the king.
mentioned in the beginning. Now it's a spoiler. Spoiler alert for people that are listening that haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph. I actually, I watched it last week.
Yeah.
I watched it last week on Saturday.
Yeah.
So did my friend that I went and I'm talking to about doing the podcast. He watched it Saturday as well.
Yeah.
And it was just really weird, bit of little serendipity. And we started talking about it. It was, a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it before. I was high off my tits, though, so I did not remember most of it. I remember I almost cried at one point, but I didn't see that
The bit where he
point.
breaks the car.
No.
That's really sad, that.
I
'cause,
think
like, that's going such an extreme from the highs of the previous scenes. And that's like, because if you tell a story the way you should do it, you should have a peak and a low and a peak and a low.
I was on a constant high all through that.
But that whole bit where where he basically gets convinced to destroy the car, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's harsh.
I think if I remember correctly, I had a really weird moment of high, like I was super happy, and that's why I almost cried at the point where she made the car,
Yeah.
and then I had a repeat moment of just like this weird reaction to everything, where he was like saying to himself, "I'm the bad guy, but that's okay." As he was going towards me, I was like, "Is it got me again? I don't know what's happening." Like. It made my eyes rain, basically. It didn't up on me. The first 10 minutes of Up are the most difficult thing to watch in the world. And Disney always want to, excuse the pun, one-up themselves. They always want to do that again. And for every Cars and Cars 2, there'll be an Up. There'll be a Bug's Life, which I actually like.
For every Cars and Cars 2, there's a Planes.
Yeah,
now.
that's true. And that's made by the same studio that made Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
How bad is
Well, it's made by the interns at the studio who made Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, that's it, Disney. I'm calling all you people who worked on Planes interns.
You fucking
Fuck 'em.
scumbags.
Yeah. They're the ones who made Aladdin 2.
Aladdin 2.
And Lion
Electric
King 2.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Lion King 2.
Although
Lion King
I
harder.
will, maintain that Lion King 3.5 is fucking hilarious. That's the 1.5 it was called, wasn't it? Lion King 3.
Oh, the one from Timon and Pumbaa's
Yeah,
perspective.
where they-
How do I know that?
Yeah.
As an adult man who does adult things, that's fucking weird that that's in my brain.
And at least Aladdin 3 had Robin Williams back. Like, Matt Frewer is good, but...
Aladdin 3 had Robin Williams.
Yeah, he didn't do Aladdin 2, did he? Because when they did Aladdin, he didn't want his name all over the advertising for it.
Yeah.
So he said, don't market it based on me, and they went ahead and marketed it based on him.
Yeah.
So he refused to do Aladdin 2, which was straight-to-video
Okay,
nonsense.
that's what I
And when the third one came along, he sort of made up and...
He just doesn't have the commitment of James Woods, does he? Did Hercules, played Hades, then did the series and played Hades.
Yeah.
I love Hercules. That's probably my favourite Disney film.
I haven't seen that for
Hercules
years.
Hercules is a dark film, though.
One of my favourite Disney films the last few years. I mean, Wreck-It Ralph was really good, but Tangled. Like, I really love Tangled. That's a
I
great film.
tolerate that film.
I love it.
I didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
Enchanted was a better version of Tangled.
I brought myself DuckTales, the series, so I'd have enough points to get the Blu-ray of Tangled off the Disney website.
Great film.
DuckTales,
the film? The one with
the series, the whole
Egyptian?
series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rip Taylor? Rip Taylor plays the
He's
genie.
the bad guy in the...
no, he's not the bad guy.
in the film.
He's not the bad guy.
Isn't
He's
Genie
a
the bad guy?
genie.
I haven't seen the film for years.
The bad guy is the guy that wants all the genie's power, and then he wishes that he has the genie's power, and they're like, I wish you'd go back into the lamp and never come back. And you're like, oh fuck, no!
No.
You got me! You
You did.
son of a bitch!
But yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. Watch it. It's on Netflix now. UK Netflix.
Yeah, it is, yeah, that's what I watched it on.
Yeah, so did I.
God, it's a great looking
Did you
film
sneak
as well.
around my house and watch it at the same time I
What,
did?
Saturday?
Yeah.
Did you watch it Saturday morning?
When did I write the review?
Don't know. Don't
Yeah,
care.
it was the other day.
No. I think your review went up Wednesday, didn't it?
Yeah, it was about 2 days before that.
Okay, so
yeah,
Monday.
coming up.
But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I really like it. Would you say, I mean, this is one of the weird. We're a generation that have been raised on Aladdin's and The Little Mermaid. And all
good
that shit.
Disney films.
Yeah, all those really phenomenal Disney films, and then we had that dark period of just sequels and just
Home on the Range,
Princess Bride,
Brother Bear,
The Princess Diaries, sorry, and shit like
Princess
that.
Diaries. Jeez, why is Stan Lee in Princess Diaries too?
I don't know, mate.
What's the deal with that? Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
But yeah, so there was that really bad period, and now we're back to this. Would you say that this, if you were to watch Aladdin, have you seen Aladdin recently?
Not for a while.
No. What is the most recent animated, like the old school?
Old style.
80s?
I haven't watched a Disney proper animated film for a long time.
I mean, I did watch Hercules a year ago, and when I tried to think about it, it's the freshest point in my memory, trying to compare that to say Wreck-It Ralph and Up and things like that, I have to say that as much as I love Hercules, it's a great film. I would prefer to watch Up. Despite the heartbreaking 10 minutes of the beginning, I would prefer to watch Up or Wreck-It Ralph or something like that. Just because I think it caters to where our minds are at now. It's more kinetic. There's more energy. And, oh god, Up is heartbreaking. The first 10 minutes of Up are fucking painful.
It's a lovely film.
If you want if you want your soul to be crushed by happiness, first 10 minutes of Up. Oh, fuck, where she's going up the hill. Oh, god. If I have an emotional response on the podcast, just Matt's emotional response. Just have like stars. But yeah, no, great film. Great.
Yeah. Your reviews next.
I've got to stop talking about shit for ages. I've got to fucking try and focus up on this bitch.
You don't know what's next?
No, I don't know. I'm going to... I have played Borderlands The Pre-Sequel.
You did Borderlands 2 last time.
I did Borderlands 2 last time. I said I was going to do Borderlands The Pre-Sequel. This time I am prepared by playing Borderlands The Pre-Sequel. It's a great game. Made by an Australian company.
Struth.
Yeah. Struth. Crocky. It's made by 2K Games Australia. It's got some nice Mad Max-based humour in there.
Yeah, I noticed when Paul was playing it, when I was around here, everyone has an Australian accent.
Because it's made in Australia.
Yeah.
Like, just to cut the fucking cost of accents, I guess. One really nice feature that I don't think anyone will ever, get into. Okay, so they've got a boss called Red Kelly, fairly early on, which is obviously Ned Kelly.
Really? Get out of here.
And do you remember Yahoo Serious's film, Ned Kelly? What was it called? Was it just Ned Kelly?
I thought it was called Yahoo Serious.
Yeah, Yahoo Serious did a film where he basically played Ned Kelly. The armour they wear is literally the same armour that he wears in that film. I thought it was a great little reference. And stuff like that is just brilliant in games.
I remember Young Einstein.
Yeah, Young Einstein's a good film as well. But all in all, really, really good game. It's much the same as Borderlands and Borderlands 2. If you like those games, you're probably going to like this a lot.
Reckless Kelly.
Reckless Kelly, there you go. One of the new things is they have oxygen now.
Oh, yeah,
So,
you have to keep yourself...
Yeah, but pretty much everything drops oxygen, so it's just like...
Jesus, he was only ever in 3 films.
It's not anything you need to worry about. Yeah, Mr. Serious was the last one, wasn't it?
Mr. Accident.
Mr. Accident, yeah, 2 of them were good. Mr. Accident is probably fucking abysmal. I thought he was in Young Frankenstein or Teenage Frankenstein. You remember the one where Frankenstein was in high school?
No, Young Frankenstein was 1988, then Reckless Kelly in 93, and then Mr. Accident in 2000. That's
so he was Young Frankenstein?
That's literally all he was ever in.
Ah, poor
Blimey.
Yahoo Serious. Anyway, so it's really good. Just they've got oxygen now, which is just a new game mechanic, and they've got a new type of weapon called ice. Doesn't really make much difference to the whole game thing. It just slows people down.
Isn't there ice weapons before?
No.
Huh.
Yeah. So ice weapons, and that's really it. I mean, the humor's the same, just Australian tinged, and it's all pretty similar. I enjoy it a lot. If you've got an Xbox One, again, it's recommended on Xbox One because 1080p 60 frames per second, or if you don't have an Xbox One, PS4 or PC.
Wait, you found an Xbox One game that runs at 1080p and 60 frames per second? Blimey.
I know, right? Do you remember all those years that we thought we were all playing 1080p games on the Xbox 360?
No, you weren't. It was always scaled up. There's very few that actually are.
600p scaled up to 1080p.
Geometry Wars is. Right, that's about it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good game. It's really recommended. There's 4-player.
Oh my god, Yahoo Serious actually changed his name to Yahoo Serious. Yeah. Like, he was born Greg P. He actually legally changed his name to Yahoo Serious.
Oh my god, does Yahoo Serious have Twitter? Yahoo Serious, get in touch with us.
And he married a woman then, whose name is Lulu Serious.
Great. If Yahoo Serious listens to podcasts or has Twitter, please get in touch with us because I actually genuinely loved your films when I was a kid. Just send us a message or whatever. Or just, just anything. That is amazing.
Tell us what you're doing because your life seems to stop in the year 2000.
Did you die? Are you dead now? What have you been up to? And we don't mean that.
The last thing he did was...
Mr. Accident.
No, he tried to sue Yahoo. Sirius could not prove that he sells products or services under the name
You punchy motherfucker!
Yeah, he sued him for trademarking Sirius infringement. But the case was thrown out because Sirius could not prove that he sells products or services under the name Yahoo, and therefore could not prove he was suffered harm or confusion due to the search engine.
You fucking... That's amazing! Tell us about that! Just come and talk to us, that's amazing! Tried to sue.
Oh dear, I don't know if his wife got off better. When she changed her name before she was married was Lulu Pincus.
That's just... It's like a super comedic version of like a really sad life. It's like Yahoo, not the website, the guy. Yeah. Give us a shout.
I don't think he will.
He's never going to want to talk to us.
If you give us a shout, we'll send you a copy of Tiptoes.
Oh my god, yeah! If you give us a shout and you send us you still have to enter the competition. I'm not just going to give it to you.
What competition? You just want anyone to acknowledge that they listen to that point.
If you send us a tweet with a humorous film title, which is a play on another film title, you will get, and this is genuine, these are hard copies, this is proper DVD media. You'll get Tiptoes, Terminator Woman, and Battlegrounds, which is on Blu-ray.
Wasn't there Manborg as well?
Oh, throw Manborg as well. Let's do this.
You have multiple copies of that.
Yeah, I've got 4. So I'll give you those 4 films if you send us a humorous tweet with a play on a film name. I'll even pay shipping to Australia? Question mark?
Sure, why not?
You might move to LA to sue Yahoo. On a quick side note, the people that made Manborg are releasing a horror film called The Void. It looks fantastic and you can back it right now online. Please do, because I'd like to see that film. I've backed it for a digital copy because I'm really looking forward to it. It looks phenomenal. And what they did with Manborg, as much as I'd like to mock it, is great. And it made me laugh and it plays to a lot of my favourite type of films, which is bollocksy, shitty Harry Hamlin plasticine monsters. But yeah, no, The Void. Check it out. Google it, whatever you need to do. But it's up there. Just put some money towards it. What was I talking about? Oh, Borderlands. I'll give Borderlands a solid Tom Atkins. It's getting the high.
I'd give it a Yahoo serious.
No, because I take it seriously. I'm not Yahoo serious.
I know what those words mean, but not in that order.
Do you think he just woke up one day and he was eating his cereal with his stupidly large spoon like in Young Frankenstein? He went, you know what I'm going to do today, love?
I need to be taken seriously.
I am going to sue Yahoo, those motherfuckers! They've been using my name for too long and I legally had it changed to Yahoo because I am dead serious about comedy. Holy fuck, what a mad person. I really wanted to talk to us now. I'll give him those DVDs. Fuck it. Even if I just get one tweet that calls us cunts, I'll give him those DVDs. And a Blu-ray. It's free DVDs.
At you at.
What? Oh, yeah, it's at Cinemageddon.
Yeah.
Or if you can't get hold of me, just throw in at LV54 Space Monkey as well, because he'll pick it up if I don't. Right. And then we'll be able to give you a chat and say, howdy doody, Yahoo serious, which sounds like a ridiculous sentence, but it's your name mixed in with a greeting, you fucking crazy person. Why not change your name to Sparklers Mackenzie? Why is the name Yahoo serious even funny? Why would you think that was a comedic thing to do? Ruin your life. It's like, oh yeah.
Well, his name was Greg Peed before,
Yeah, that's a normal name.
Peed.
Peed?
People probably took the mick out of him.
Yeah. You should have made Peed your middle name and your last name
on the carpet.
Gregophilia. Oh, what's your middle name? That's an interesting Gregophilia.
I don't think he'd message us.
To me. He'd be like, those laughing motherfuckers who went on the podcast.
Maybe we'll make a new film to mock us.
It'll be Yahoo really serious.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that documentary about him called Get Serious, and it's obviously on the cover would be a black and white photo of his face. He's got short hair now, looks a bit weathered by the years.
Just really downtrodden.
Yeah, that'll be the cover for the DVD. Who can direct it? Who's that guy who did that? Pauly Shore is dead. No, Pauly Shore directed that, didn't he?
Pauly Shore directed that. No, you want to get Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan Spurlock on it, yeah. Yeah, he'll direct anything now. He directed a One Direction concert movie.
Oh, the creepiest one ever. Have you seen the footage of that with the guys walking past? It's just, somehow they've caught a bunch of paedophiles on camera, because it's all like 12-year-old girls, and then you get one guy that's wandering through like 32 with his eyes really wide open, and his stomach slightly hanging out of his t-shirt as he wanders past in sweatpants.
Oh, yeah.
Just like... And you're like, oh god, he's literally got 6 kids tied up in his basement. Not saying you're one of those people, Yahoo Serious. I want you to seriously listen to me when I say this. Yahoo for contacting us proactively, because I feel like you seriously are going to contact us.
Contact us in Yahoo Mail.
Yeah, we've got Yahoo Mail. Yeah. We understand you probably don't want to use that, because you've lost the... You go to Toys R Us and collect all those free Yahoo trial CDs and start throwing them at people.
Those trial CDs, man. Kids don't understand trial CDs for the internet now, do they?
No one's going to know who the fuck Yahoo Serious is.
We need to make the internet and give them out in shops.
Alright, so, I give that sort of Tom Atkins. Borderlands The Pre-Sequel.
Yeah, that was what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to end... Because we've both seen it, and we can't decide which one of us should review it, so we're both going to do it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm serious.
He doesn't like you.
It's me. If I get a really angry letter, he's handwritten.
My mate...
he's only got invisible ink because his life is a wacky misadventure.
My mate mentioned something about, like... What was that bat? The anvil. That was it. And he mentioned something, he said something about the anvil not being all that great or something, and the drummer wrote an angry letter to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Yahoo Serious, please don't get angry with me. I love you. Can I have a signed picture?
Yeah.
Just sign a Yahoo, though, so I can sell it for some money on eBay.
Yeah.
Be like, Yahoo sent me this letter of a picture of a strange Australian man.
Because the website's probably worth more.
Yeah. Just put an exclamation mark at the end of your first name.
Yeah. Right. Should we review a thing?
Yeah.
Let's review Daredevil.
Let's do this.
Daredevil. It got released yesterday, or 3 days ago, depending on when I put this up. Or maybe, who knows? Yeah, or April 10th, man.
Shit, I watched 9 hours of that.
Yeah.
Well, let's say 8 hours and 32 minutes.
Well, the episodes are about like 50 to 1 hour long, aren't they? Pretty much all. But I started watching it first thing yesterday morning because I couldn't sleep. So literally at 8 o'clock I just started watching. I've only gone through 5 episodes so far. But I'm really liking it. It's got its own tone.
Yeah.
No.
It's
got its own tone compared to the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. All the Marvel stuff. The only one of the Marvel films I ever felt like had its own voice on it. Iron Man 3 was a Shane Black film.
Great.
And Guardians of the Galaxy was a James Gunn film.
4-1?
4-1, not really.
No?
Nah. The only voice I found in 4-1 was that it felt like, it felt like the Masters of the Universe film at some point. I like that film, though.
Captain America 2.
Captain America 2 kicks ass, but it's
film.
another film. It doesn't feel like it's from the director.
Feels like... Oh, no, it did. Joe Russo, it did feel like one of their films.
Really? Because they made You, Me and Dupree.
All right, now. We don't hold everything against everyone. Yeah. I've done some shady shit for money.
Yeah. Then again, George Miller directed Mad Max and Babe. So, Pig
in the City.
Pig in the City, yeah. But yeah.
that was Babe 2.
Yeah, Babe 2.
That was the gritty reboot.
Yeah,
that we're waiting for. It's going to be Babe, Pig in the City. It's all black and white. Frank Miller.
And Babe gets killed halfway through.
No, Babe becomes a hooker.
Yeah.
And then gets beaten up after being raped. And then decides to go on a gritty revenge story.
Yeah, that'll happen.
With Clive Owen.
Let's talk about Daredevil, though.
Yeah, let's talk about Daredevil.
Really good. I'm liking the casting on it. Casting's excellent.
I hate that guy's face when I saw him as Daredevil.
Charlie Day.
Charlie, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Cox.
There you go.
What's his name?
Charlie Sucks Cox.
Yeah. But,
yes, let's get Yahoo serious about this.
Yeah. But it's really good. I like how, for being a blind man, he maintains eye contact a lot more than Oliver Queen ever has in Arrow.
Yep.
But, guy playing Foggy, really cool. Like, spot on for Foggy.
The Nub.
Yeah.
From Idle Hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Guy from Idle Hands, yeah.
And
which
also,
I still keep saying I'm going to review on the site, and I haven't done it.
What was the film where the kid had, like, bone deterioration, or he had motor neuron disease, and basically Penub or the guy who plays Foggy, I'm going to call it Penub from now on, fuck it. He plays like this big strong kid, and he like carries him on his shoulders and stuff. It's kind of like a remake of My Bodyguard that had Adam Baldwin and Matt Dillon in it, or Kevin Dillon.
Don't want to see anything with Adam Baldwin in it.
Well, he was young back then. He wasn't quite as racist.
Yeah, he's a twat.
He was in Chuck, though. I kind of like him for that. Yeah. And Firefly.
Yeah, but he's a cock.
In real life.
Yeah.
The characters he plays are pretty badass.
I'm kind of liking that the restraint they've shown so far, that they haven't tried to do the whole Rogues Gallery thing, which Arrow and Flash really worry me that they're going to run out of villains.
Yeah, they definitely are soon.
Yeah, Flash is really churning through them.
Well...
Like, who has Flash done this series? Like, Weather Wizard, The Mist, Firestorm's been in it.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Caitlin Snow, but she's Killer Frost.
Well, she might be.
She will be.
Do you reckon she's going to go full villain?
Well, she needs heat to keep herself alive, doesn't she? And her boyfriend happens to be on fire.
Alright.
So, yeah.
I'll leave that.
Then there's Reverse Flash, Gorilla Grodd. Like, the trickster.
Gorilla Grodd hasn't technically been in there yet.
Yeah, he's in a couple of episodes.
Yeah, I know, but he hasn't
next
been
week's...
like a proper villain.
The next episode, he is...
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But, yeah, like with Daredevil, they haven't tried to churn through his villains. Like, Bullseye's not in this series at all. Like, they've kept the focus on Kingpin. You're still not being called Kingpin yet.
Wilson,
yeah,
Wilson
you're not allowed to say his name.
Yeah, you are.
You don't say his name.
Oh, you haven't got to that point yet, have you?
In Series 5, they like... Yeah, well, I'm up to Episode 5.
Yeah, let's just clarify where we are now, because we're going to have two different opinions on this based on where we are in the series anyway. You're on Episode 5?
Yeah.
Have you finished watching Episode 5?
Yeah, the one where it ends with all the blind Chinese guys blowing themselves up and killing the Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Episode 9.
And Daredevil's like got the police with his guns on him.
Yeah. I'm on Episode 9, so I'm a slightly different place to Ant, and also we have different opinions on this. I mean, I will express mine later. Ant first.
You're not allowed to have opinions.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Let's get Yahoo serious.
No, I'm liking Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio?
Yeah, D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
He will put on weight for a role, won't he? He will change the size of his body all the time.
1 second. You've said that wrong. He does put on weight, and it's not for a role.
He's played Orson Welles a bunch of times, hasn't he? Yeah, he's a big guy.
His arm, no, like, you know how he used to just be fat? Like,
yeah.
Have you seen The Breakup?
No.
Like, that's him at his height of his jowls. Like, he's got a massive gym. In this, his arms, he's fucking built his arms up like crazy. He's still got the belly, but he looks...
It's weird.
Looks like
Vincent D'Onofrio, like...
D'Onofrio.
Like, other than remembering him as playing Orson Welles, I quite often remember him as the bad guy from Men in Black.
Yeah, I remember him that was when he was skinniest, though, weirdly enough. Do you remember him as Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
What is that in your stowaway? There's a jelly donut. So, what the fuck is a jelly donut doing?
I'm really liking him in that role. And, it's... The flashback stuff's been good. I haven't seen Stick yet, but I guess he comes up in the next couple of episodes, because you got to...
That's the next one.
Yeah, you got to tell him... Got to tell that origin story, how he learned to fight.
It's not an origin story.
Well, you got to
They've already shown that. Like they
up to episode
really
5, they haven't shown any of it
They
yet.
were really good about showing the origin story, and I think they snuck it in without you knowing that they did it. But do you remember there's a scene where he's lying on the floor in his dad's bum, and he's like, "Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes." And he opens his eyes, and it burns them. And then it pulls back, and you see the dad holding the son, and there's the barrels of toxic waste.
Yeah.
No words need to be said other than "Don't open your eyes," and they've done it. Set it up.
Yeah, that was nicely done. Yeah.
But they didn't even realise it happened. But you know,
the thing with Daredevil's origin story, though, is there's loads of little tiny points you have to have along the way before he becomes Daredevil.
Only if you're going to do the bad version of it. You can naturally show those. Yeah,
but that's what they're doing. They're weaving it in and out.
The problem with
not like Arrow, where it's just like every now and again he's going, "Do you remember what happened 5 years ago? I just happened to talk to someone. It's got something to do with this incident that's going on now.
I happen to be in China."
And then, whoosh, and suddenly everything's blowing out colours and you're in China.
That's the problem with the Arrow.
He gets off the island.
The Arrow started out with such a nice small scope.
Yeah.
And then since it's gone on series and series, they haven't tried to stay within that scope. They've just expanded. And it is going to reach that point where it's just saturated. And
what happens when they get past season 5 and he's got off the island?
Well, once they get to season 5...
When they get to season 6, is it just going to flash back to the first season of Arrow all the time?
Once they get to season 5, I'm hoping that Ollie becomes what he is in the comics, which is essentially a secret agent.
I want him to be like the really enjoying his job, running around place with his goatee beard and his...
Yeah, that's something like with a beard, he'll be a secret agent. He won't be Ollie McQueen, and he won't be tied to that place so much, because in the comics, Starling City is his home, and he every so often stops crimes there. But he jet sets around like a motherfucker. Like, he's got all the money, he's got all the gadgets. Yeah. He's just Batman. But Batman as Robin Hood.
Yeah. He's supposed to not have any money right now. He's doing quite well for himself.
Yeah, he's meant to be poor as shit.
Yeah. But
he's rich in real estate.
I'm quite liking Daredevil. We should get back to Daredevil.
Yeah, let's get back to Daredevil.
So far, what I'm up to, his costume is just literally like t-shirt, trousers, and he's got like a towel over his eyes or some shit.
Yeah, he's got an Under Armour shirt on. I had the same Under Armour shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't look as good.
It's got little red lines on it. I like that little hint. But that's based on the Frank Miller from the the early costume.
Man Without Fear.
Yeah. But it's like, that looks like a cheap vigilante suit, something someone would make.
Yeah.
Years and years, I wish I still had the drawing. I was sort of like, what would Batman do if he had no money? And what would his suit be like? And I drew a Zorro mask on him. Like, I've had just a bandana over his head with little pointy bits that happen to just be where the folds are. It gives him a little point on his ear, and that is before he's called himself Batman. That was like a drawing I did, and that looks like what he had.
I always imagined that if Batman had no money, he'd just dress like a homeless person.
He does in some.
instead of being like,
what's his name, Patch something, the homeless guy persona he takes on, where he just grays his hair up in the comic in the car.
Well, instead, I would just imagine this guy who works in a low key job. He does something, and he, like, wherever he works, he's always wearing baggy clothes to allude that he's maybe bigger or smaller than he looks.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any discernible opinion. He just gets on with his job and never goes up or down. And then at night, he basically sleeps in the street and waits for crime to happen. And then when crime does happen, he just jumps to action. No gadgets, no gizmos. He just kicks the living fuck out of people. And sometimes he does murder and maim people. But he does it because he doesn't have the money to make those safeguards.
Well, Daredevil is like Batman without the money.
Well, no,
he's a street-level vigilante crime fighter.
They allude to him having a lot of money because his dad... His dad placed that bet.
Yeah, he's got some money back up, but he's like, they're just basically living, just getting by.
I think the next episode is going to clarify a bit more for you, but I get the sense he has a lot more money than he lets on. Yeah, maybe
he could give a little bit of that money to his staff, pay what's her face.
Could do.
But it's like, I'm liking the way it's going so far. I do want to know how they're going to gradually build up to the costume thing, because from what I've heard from what they were saying before, that he's going to gradually add to what he's wearing already, and then eventually the costume sort of comes to be the red costume. But he can't just like... Where's he going to get that costume from?
Well, I mean, how stringent are you on the whole spoiler thing? When it comes to the costume, anyway.
But he's got someone, you said he's got someone making him the costume, haven't you?
Yeah, it's going to go full costume before the end of the series.
Yeah,
there's not.
But I was kind of hoping it would be a gradual build, like he would start wearing armour bits to protect himself and learn.
I was hoping for that.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen the episode with the ninja yet, have you?
No, well, episode 6 is next, so whatever, I'm off the one. Literally, the episode 5 ends with the police have the guns on him, and they're freeze, and then it ends.
Yeah. I mean...
No post-credit scenes on this show. Yeah.
There will be one at the end. I think at the very end there should be a nice little one where...
Can they do a post-credit scene when it's on Netflix? Because it insists on starting the next episode 15 seconds later.
Once you get to the end of the series, it does. It just stops, doesn't it? Well, it plays through the whole thing. But one thing that I really wanted them to do that would be nice, and this is something we spoke about earlier, is the whole series to me, where I'm at now, episode 9, feels like Matt Fraction's Hawkeye. It feels just like that comic.
Not got a lot of humour as such, though.
No, not so much humour, but in the same way that it's a downtrodden hero, he's human, he has brilliant fighting ability, but when he comes up against someone else who's also got brilliant fighting ability, it's still just a fight.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any like magic powers coming out of nowhere, he just has to fucking do him in. And Hawkeye in the comics is much the same, in the new Matt Fraction comics, because he gets hurt, he gets damaged, he has to pick himself up, brush himself off, and go and do it again. And he is human. Like, he has loads of cuts, he has loads of scratches and scars, he gets tired, sometimes he needs to stop and eat. He's doing these things that humans do. Unlike Wolverine, who gets shot in the face, heals up, and just goes at it again. You know, it's a whole different ballgame. And I'm hoping at the end of the series, they have a nice little cameo by Hawkeye in the baggy-fitting beige suit.
Jeremy Renner doesn't do TV.
Yeah, but Jeremy Renner could just come in the baggy beige suit, wearing the purple sunglasses, and he's just like, so I heard you've been cleaning up my hometown. Or like, I heard you've been cleaning up the neighborhood. And he's like, wait, what? And then it turns out that Hawkeye owns like an apartment building there, and it builds into the possibility of a Matt Fraction series. Because that'd be great. I really would like that. But so far, I've enjoyed the series a lot. I kind of wish that there was less Foggy, because he annoys me a little bit. He's a fully developed character. He has his own motivations and such. But it kind of annoys me. And it's not in a bad way, not in a way that like I can't stand him when he's on screen, just in a way that he overstays his welcome almost every time. And the whole like, I have the feeling that this is going to be like the Arrow, and everyone's going to know who he is one day.
Well, eventually
'Cause,
everyone
like,
does.
Rosario Dawson's just like, oh look, there he is. It's that.
Yeah, but eventually in Daredevil everyone does know. Ben
Yeah, but
Urich
that's when he
publishes
joins
it,
the
doesn't he?
Avengers, isn't it?
No, Ben Urich publishes it in the newspaper.
Oh, that's ages away though.
Yeah, but it could be happening any time.
Well, it could, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you remember the film ended with Joey Pants, and he was going to publish it, and then he
but they
deleted
press
it.
delete, yeah.
Yeah, and then just I imagine a scene like
Okay,
him
right,
sat
wait.
there for about 5 minutes holding delete in his 10,000 word article.
Wait, because we're already over now, so we can go as long as we want now. We've passed the threshold. It's point of no return now. I've recently watched the Daredevil film.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I watched
My
it because
condolences.
I watched it because
I haven't seen the director's cut version of that.
I have. That's what I watched.
Yeah.
I watched it mostly because I couldn't wait for the series.
Yeah.
I've read the Daredevil comics, The Man Without Fear, and all that other stuff, and I like the character a lot. I don't like, which I'm glad they didn't add. I don't like the Spider-Man web thing because that's always fucking unnecessary. He never needed to have like a fucking grappling hook. He always just needed to be
Just needs a
Daredevil.
stick.
Yeah, that's all he needed were his little fucking sticks. And when I watched the old Daredevil, I mean, the suit aside, everybody hates the suit. That was terrible. It was a bad decision. Ben Affleck, he was in the best shape of his life, but the suit was just a bad idea.
I like the suit in that. I have the action figure up there.
But
Everyone hates the suit. Why do people hate the suit?
because it's just leather, it's tight. There's no mobility. There's no
Same.
reason for it to be like that. There's no armor to it. It's pointless.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in regards to the series versus the TV show, yeah, it's a lot more. I hate this fucking word. It's a lot more dark, a lot more gritty.
It's gritty.
Gritty.
Yeah.
But it has moments of levity from Foggy, from Karen, the receptionist, who's
So,
having a wacky
The
adventures.
tone of the series, I literally cannot see anyone from any other Marvel film, TV series thing turning up in it. None of them would fit.
Because they're all during the daytime.
Like,
Do you
even-
not get that
yeah.
sense that they both occupy the same world but different times of
But
day?
even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which has got the cast members most likely to ever turn up in something on their Netflix series, like, not one of them would fit in. None of them talk the right way or act the right way, or wouldn't. They'd feel odd. They'd feel like you've suddenly chucked a cartoon character into a friggin' serious. Like, imagine if
Yeah.
The Wire suddenly. The Wire was
think
funny at moments, but imagine if The Wire suddenly had like Mulder turn up. He could, because technically they exist in the same universe if you were to stretch out the characters and the arcs
Yeah.
between them and the worlds they encompass. But imagine if Mulder and Scully turned up in The Wire.
Yeah.
Like, it would be odd. It would be out of place.
Well, see, the thing is that I think that we imagine Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because every character... The difference between this and the difference between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are you've got 7 people to make one character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In this, you've got one character, one person, one motivation. It's 2 different versions of the same thing. It'd be like if you don't like tea with sugar in it and then all of a sudden someone put 7 sugars into your tea. That'd be the thing. But if you had Fitz or Simmons turn up because, I don't know, they own property in that area or they've gone to go investigate a vigilante and they've just been sent because it's just some guy running around in pajamas beating people up. And they're like, well, I'm going to go have a look because it might be some action involving in humans or something like that. And they just turned up and they met Daredevil because they were about to get mugged. Something convenient like that. And he was injured when he saved them.
They look
and
like
they healed him.
victims. I reckon they'd get mugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you could do it, but you just
But
why
they
would you
wouldn't.
want
The way
to?
they talk and the way they act would feel so out
They
of
are
place.
British. The
Yeah.
Daredevil doesn't really go to London, but but I think that the reason they've done that is they mentioned the incident in the first episode, like the aliens.
So far,
coming
they've
down.
only mentioned 2 things that link it to the rest of the world,
Yeah.
which is quite nice.
So you know they're in the same world, no, all this.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have them work in the same. You could have Daredevil working because he could be almost the spy. He could also almost be like Matt Fraction's. It's interchangeable because he could be Matt Fraction's Hawkeye for this universe. He could be a spy because he's inconspicuous because he's blind. No one's going to go, oh shit, look, that blind guy. He's definitely the guy kicking the shit out of our highly trained guards. It's the dude who can't see. He's the one doing it. But no, I like it. I like the tone of it, and I reckon it can fit into the Marvel universe. I reckon if they do it right, they can get him in there. He can be part of it. It's just he's not in the same power level as the others.
Yeah, he's not the same sort of thing.
No, he is the same
But
as
they're
Spider-Man.
doing the Defenders, though, aren't they? That's
But
the whole thing.
Spider-Man is so overpowered now that he's there with Superman. Like, it's ridiculous. Spider-Man can lift cars now. Like, when did that fucking
He could always lift cars.
No.
Right from the
he
very
could-
first issues.
He could use his webs to stop cars,
No, he's always been able to
cars.
lift cars. He's always been able, right from the very early ones. He's been able to lift something like 20 tons was his
Holy
limit.
fuck, that's just ridiculous. Like, you know, like he's teamed up with Daredevil.
If you want Spider-Man overpowered, you go to the 80s and get to the story when he gets given cosmic powers and fire laser blasts from his fingers.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
No, we're talking about comics, of course.
But yeah, they are doing with the series on Netflix. There's going to be Luke Cage.
I'm so fucking excited about Luke Cage.
What's its other one's coming first, isn't it?
Iron Fist.
No, that's last.
Is Iron Fist last? Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, that's it. Yeah, and it's what's her face, the one who's in Breaking Bad. Jesse Pinkman's girlfriend from Breaking Bad, Jessica Jones.
Jessica Ritter.
Yeah, that's Jason. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who died in Breaking Bad.
She's
spoilers.
also in Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23.
Yeah,
I like that.
And what's that vampire film done by Amy Heckerling?
Vamps.
Yeah.
That awful film was Sarah...
Alicia
Weaver.
Silverstone in it.
Sigourney Weaver as well. I saw that. It's not very good. I'm really excited. I mean, Netflix didn't expect him to make it so good.
Yeah.
I was expecting shit.
I was worried it was going to look like, the Mortal Kombat web series. It was going to look a bit cheap.
No, the first series, the first episode, the preview they did for the Mortal Kombat web series.
Yeah.
That looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That was all...
But the actual series had a little bit of...
The actual series was shit.
Yeah.
It was shockingly bad. Except for the Cyrax and...
The only thing I really liked in the second series was Casper Van Dien was Johnny Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They had that really nice
awesome.
fight between him and Kung Lao as well.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't Kung Lao, it was Liu Kang.
Yeah, something like that.
Really nice fight between him and Liu Kang. Raiden intervened. I'm really hopeful.
Yeah.
Because if the Jessica Jones series, which is coming out later this year...
Yeah, that's the end of the year. How are they going to do this if these are all successful and everyone wants a second series of each thing?
Well, it'd be like the Marvel films. You test the water with Iron Man. They've tested the water with Daredevil. Jessica Jones will be a second-hand property, then a third and fourth. And what they'll do is they'll
13-episode series, you'll have a year-long, continuous year-long shows of Marvel on Netflix.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's crazy.
Netflix,
and Defenders.
Defenders is going to be awesome. I think that they should film Defenders like as a 1.5 hour movie.
It's going to be a short series, apparently.
It comes in between, just like a film that comes in between the others. Because I think the Defenders, they could, it could possibly be done that they take on like what was the equivalent of the Purple Dragons in this series, in this world? Because the Purple Dragons are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they had a clan of ninjas, didn't they?
The Hand.
Yeah, the Hand. They could take on the Hand.
It's a weird thing though. Veronica Hand was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they killed her.
Yeah. They could always make it like James Bond, make it a name.
Everyone dies in Marvel.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to wherever it goes. It's exciting times, at the very least.
I think it's like refreshing because it's the only thing in the entire Marvel universe right now in films that doesn't feel like it's made for kids to watch as well. It's very violent.
Yeah. I felt the same about Captain America.
Captain America's really dark.
Captain America 2.
Yeah, that treated you like an adult though, that film.
Yeah.
But this film has a guy getting his head crushed in pieces inside a car door in one of the early episodes. Yeah. And then there's I thought, they're going to shoot around that and then you see a bloody stump.
Iron Man 3 was catered to adults as well. I think that they start off with kids, get the marketing with kids, but because it's been they've been doing this for almost 10 years now. Iron Man 1 was 2008.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so they've almost been doing it for 10 years. So I think that they tested the waters initially and they've grown up as their audience has. And kids can love the Avengers because it's bright and colourful and all the monsters are there and there's a couple of jokes they'll get and it's a little bit funny for them. But then you've got...
sorry for any parents who has to explain the Jackson Pollock line from Guardians of the Galaxy to their kids.
Yeah. But then you've got Iron Man 3, you've got that great line where he's he's got the gun pointed at the guy, he's just taken out 2 other guards, and the guy goes, "No, seriously, I hate this place, these guys are weird, I'm just gonna go." I thought it was great, but kids wouldn't laugh at that.
That sequence where he breaks into the mansion, with his weapons.
That was total Lethal Weapon, that was rich.
That was one of the best action sequences in all the Marvel films. I love that.
The glove that was a toaster.
Yeah.
A toaster and a heated glove, and he just chucks it at someone's face to electrocute them, and he's got the balls that have got the chemicals in them like grenades. Oh, it's great, really good.
Because that was Tony Stark using what little he had. I mean, he could build that thing in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah.
And that's what he had. He had some scraps and he built weapons.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 forgot about that. I understand that Iron Man 2 had to be what it was for the Avengers.
Yeah, that film sucked.
But Iron Man 3, I think they realised they're okay, so what if we gave the super genius unlimited tools and resources? He's going to make hundreds of suits. Yeah. And then what if we give this guy, and it's just he's just going to go to the limit of that. And then it's just like anyone else. I build my iTunes library up meticulously for months and months. And then it comes to 3 years down the line, I get a new PC, delete the whole fucking thing and start again. Steadily downloading it song by song, picking them as my favourite.
I think Iron Man costume's a little bit more complex than iTunes library.
It would be a similar thing. But no, it'd be the same thing though, because you're building up that collection and you're doing it needlessly because he makes one for every situation. I make playlists.
Yeah, he had the Space Iron Man suits in Iron Man 3 briefly. Like, he doesn't want to go into space. He's already been there once. It traumatised him.
It. Yeah. But yeah.
I like that he didn't have a deep sea diving suit to fix the power cables. In was it Iron Man 2 when he's underwater? He just had his regular Iron Man. No, it's Avengers, isn't it?
Avengers, yeah.
Yeah, he's fixing the power cables underwater. He didn't have a deep sea diving Iron Man suit.
It had the neck thing, like Abe Sapien.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Daredevil.
Yeah.
It was really good so far.
Really, really good. We talked about the Marvel Universe in its current state of play.
It reminds me of what like Arrow could be if they kept to the darker tone the first series had. I like that Arrow's embraced comic book stuff now.
Yeah.
Because it had to. You can't have the Flash exist in the same universe and not embrace comic booky nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm liking that Daredevil's staying away from that, and they're not doing Bullseye Elektra. So hey,
what, they're not doing it at all?
Not in this series.
Oh right,
no Bullseye and Elektra.
I think Elektra should be a villain.
Save Elektra for later.
I'm going to pitch this to Marvel now. Elektra should be a villain. And I think Elektra shouldn't reveal her nature immediately to Matt Murdock. I think that Matt Murdock and her should possibly get into a relationship, and they're attracted to each other because obviously they're both these people that are from a place of danger. But I think that she should find a way to disguise herself, knowing that Daredevil's blind. I think that should be revealed at the end of the series, that it's a blind guy. Alright, because the villains will start to realise that he can't see through that shit. And then Elektra takes advantage of that, and she masks herself as different people, so she uses like sense. Alright? And then make it so that as it continues, it'll just be a case of there'll be these two villains playing against one another, but they won't know that the alter egos are that person because of various different things that they do to hide themselves from that person. I think that could be really well done. And then make her a villain, and make her a villain. Don't make her like.
You could have Daredevil figure out that she's Elektra when he like sniffs her crutch, and then he's like, "Oh yeah."
Well, no, but you don't need to have him fuck. You could always make it like a thing like they're.
What if she farts and he recognises the smell of a fart?
But you can always make it. He's in another relationship, but there's just this draw to her, and he doesn't realise why, and he keeps investigating deeper and deeper, and just make it so that she's taken on the personality of someone that lived in Hell's Kitchen, that looked very similar to her, and make it like a spy thing. It'd be great. You could do that, and Marvel could do that really easily in 13 episodes. It'd be a great series, and it will give you someone similar to Kingpin, but with a different agenda, a different idea, because she won't be there to clean the place up. Better not get rid of
Kingpin. Kingpin has to always be there. Kingpin can never go.
I wish that Kingpin was used as a Spider-Man film. That'd be great to see Spider-Man get smacked the fuck out by Kingpin. Boom! Boom!
I don't really like Michael Clarke Duncan as Kingpin in Daredevil.
I liked him as Kingpin.
He completely messes with the backstory of Kingpin a bit too much, I think.
Yeah. But he was cocky and awesome, and I liked it. I don't like how shy this Kingpin is. That annoys me a little bit because
he is in some of the comics. In some of the comics, he's a much more quieter person. But it's like I think he's just really like he doesn't want to. He wants certain things to work, and he wants to be in control, and he worries that something goes wrong. I love that he crushes a guy's head because he ruined his date. Like that, because I was like, "Where's this whole date thing going?"
Yeah,
and it's all building towards
him killing a man.
Yeah, crushing his head in a car door. I like that Wesley gets out the car after some blood's on him and just stands there and waits at the side. Like. But Daredevil's really good. I'm liking it.
Good series.
You have to watch it all over the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Binge. Anyway.
So that's episode 14 of Critapocalypse.
Yeah.
Once again, if anyone other than Yahoo series does want to enter the competition, please follow the same guidelines. Just send me a title that you've mixed up to make it humorous. It needs to be a film that exists. Send it over to Cinemageddon or LV54 Space Monkey, LV54 Space Monkey, and then we'll reply and let you know if you're a winner. Anyone who does listen this far in, also once again, please go online and put some money towards The Void. It's going to be worth the time and money if you're into Cthulhu-style horror or anything that we really talk about on the show. You're probably going to really appreciate that. Oh, and watch Manborg.
Watch stuff.
Yeah, watch stuff.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.